You're a demon, apparently. Chapter 10, Part 2. For once, you knew how long it's been since you got somewhere. A perk of being above ground and having contact with someone with an actual schedule. You first woke up in Zecora's hut 3 days ago. Your pain had decreased by wide margins with whatever that paste Zecora fed you, and it was an absolute miracle. It was the kind of stuff that would make you rich before it regulated to hell and back, stolen through fair means or foul, then sold by a corporation at quadruple the price. Minimum. 3 agonizing days of waiting. It wasn't because of anything physical. Wonder Paste, was that a good name? Had that covered. No, you were more so worried about Amber. She still hadn't woken up. Every so often she'd twitch or moan in her sleep, and every time a little spark of hope appeared, it was quickly snuffed out. At this point, you'd lost count of the times that you'd argued with Zecora that you were well enough to fend for yourself for a few hours, and to get Amber the help that she needed. But she was adamant that the forest was too dangerous, and you were still too easy a target. Striped bitch. No. That was too harsh. She'd taken you in, fed you, and tended to your broken bones, and it was nice to talk to someone, seeing as how you had literally nothing else to do. The constant rhyming was still slightly annoying, but whatever. Zebra's doing her best to care for the both of you in a pretty shitty situation, so the least you could do was cut her some slack. You knew she wasn't a bitch, you were just getting frustrated. For all you knew, Amber was slipping away, and all you could do here was sit and watch. Yeah, fuck that. You had an idea, a very, extremely, incredibly stupid idea, but an idea nonetheless. At some points, in between arguments, you'd managed to glean the general direction of the nearby town Zecora had mentioned. Whenever you had time, which was a lot, you practiced walking around. If Zecora was watching you, you took it easy. If she was out, you maybe, possibly, hypothetically, pushed yourself possibly a tiny bit more than you should. So, if Zecora wasn't going to take Amber to town, you would. You knew that this was idiotic. Zecora's plan made sense. Wait until you couldn't die without her, and then she takes Amber to a hospital. It made sense, and Zecora was certain that Amber wasn't in immediate danger and was stable, but still needed medical professionals to make her better. Despite the sense that it made, it wasn't good enough. Amber had suffered too much already in her life, and she didn't deserve to lie there broken and unconscious because of you. So you had to do something. Anything. It was a little after sunset. Zecora had just left to gather some new herb or whatever. Apparently whatever she was going for only bloomed at night. She never left for long, but it was enough. Additionally, she'd neglected to wedge the door shut in place of having an actual lock. So this was your chance. You stood over Amber, preparing for the task ahead. Your hand drifted behind her ear and began tenderly scratching. Amber sighed, which brought a smile to your face. You hoped that she could feel it. She needed the comfort. Your face hardened. It was time. No more waiting. Gently, you slid your arms under her, careful not to move her too much. There was no way to tell exactly what was broken, so you had to do your best to not make anything worse. Thankfully, you didn't think that you felt anything shift when you picked her up, which was a good start. You shuffled over to the door, bumped it open, and headed off into the trees. It was slow going, half because you didn't want to jostle Amber too much, and half because you didn't want to push yourself too far. The herb paste has done well enough to dull your pain at rest, but it was steadily getting worse as you trudged along. Now, Amber may have been a small horse, but she was still a horse. And horses, apparently, were mostly muscle, even the slightly malnourished unicorns, too. Although you'd never be stupid enough to say it to her face, but she was heavy. And as you went on, she only seemed to get heavier. You took a chance and picked up the pace, no telling how much longer that you'd last. The last dose of Wonder Paste was wearing off and the pain was coming back. As the shadows grew, so did the sounds of the forest. It was unsettling, to say the least. You were a stranger in this world, and the more dangerous wildlife had not been shy to introduce themselves beforehand, so the prospect of meeting more wasn't something that filled you with joy. You pressed on. The pain was getting progressively worse. Why were you doing this? Putting your life on the line for a talking horse that would have made this trek with someone in a better condition only a few days later, likely during the day. As much as you tried, you couldn't think of an answer. But whenever you thought about the chance of losing her, well, the shattered ribs weren't the only burning feeling in your chest. What that feeling meant was something to figure out later. When did your vision begin to blur? That's not a good sign. Nor was the fact that your limbs trembled with every step, or that the pain had been replaced with an odd numb feeling. You felt like you were gonna pass out, or maybe you should've, long ago. The chatters on chirps of the forest grew quiet, leaving a cacophonous roar of complete silence. Was something following you? You didn't dare check. It felt like if you stopped, you wouldn't be able to get going again. You could see an open field ahead of you as you neared the edge of the forest. A lumbering figure appeared in front of you. It was vaguely canine, only the size of a car, and made of a haphazard mess of leaves and wood. God damn it, you thought. The beast lunged, its wooden stake teeth bared and ready to tear. Somehow you managed to duck and roll under it, clutching Amber to your chest, and hoping you didn't break her or yourself in the process. You glance over your shoulder as the wood wolf crashed into the ground behind you, smashing into a million pieces. Before you could even feel relief, the pieces floated into the air and reformed the monster once more. It raised its head and let loose a bone-chilling howl. Glowing eyes appeared in the distance behind the beast, and it had friends. God fucking damn it! Adrenaline and desperation drove you forward out of the tree line. You didn't know how that would help, but your thoughts were consumed by a singular thought. Save Amber. Your heart was pounding in your ears as you ran across the field. The wolves pursued at a seemingly leisure pace, likely able to outrun you, even if you could sprint. A massive force hit you from behind, as the wolf batted you with a paw. You hit the ground, and you lost your grip on Amber. She flopped limply onto the ground. Another paw hit your gut, knocking what little wind was left from your lungs. Another struck your side, and then another, and another. They were playing with you. This can't be the end, you thought desperately. Dying is a Maple Mutt's true toy. This can't be. A flash of purple light blazed across the sky and struck the wolf above you, rendering one leg a charred stump. Another blast carved a hole in another beast's side, and the pack scattered, whimpering and whining, as they retreated to the safety of the forest. Blurry figures then approached you. It sounded like they had hooves, so maybe they were helpful. You heard hushed whispers and snarling voices, but you couldn't make out what they were saying. It didn't really matter. Only one thing mattered as the darkness came to claim you once more. Save her, you wheezed. Please. I wonder what Zecora's gonna think when she sees her two patients just suddenly gone. Although one thing to wonder now is where the hell are they going next? Anywho, let's get on to our arcane donators. Top donators: Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, and Ponyman. CourierCruz CI, Strix, Zar630, Narwhals, Delta Omega, RuneScythe9852, Dospo, Rhiny Dragonwolf, Hunter Norman, Austin Rowland, Secret Moon, Tall Russia, The Toilet Snake, Sword Brethren Mordred, Ronin Wandering, Endrai63, Random Person Man Guy, Easy, Jack Cadge, Starlight Glimmer, Squiddy Boy, David D. Sanchez, Soul Dragon, Gaggy, Trey, Shadow Drake, Joe Piercy, Alex F., Rainbow Dash, Teoka Anderson, TV Killer, John Becker, Leon Reynolds, Zach Rakau, Mr. ECU, Leslie Prickett, Edgar Garcia, One Kingdom 1, Nissa Rusan, Vazuri, Dyslexic Character Sheets, and Just a Random Boy. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.